Alright. I think I got this set up, at least as much as I can. I'll have to eventually get, like, stream element set up so that we can have text capture or something going on in the corner of the screen, because like for games like this and Cave Story, we've got a lot of dead space on the screen that could be utilized for something else. I'll show you in just a sec here. Put this over here. But yeah, like this game is tiny. And I can try and like use up a bit more space, but I'm still ending up this weird floating area where I'm partially invisible anyways. Yeah, I mean that uses the rest of the space available there, but like I don't know. I could see something going up there. Okay. Well, let me make certain we got the in-game audio going. Remember how any of this works. Okay, so there is in-game music. Gonna turn this down a little bit. And we're gonna turn off the No Thoughts Head Empty for now. That is solid music. I actually wasn't expecting that. Dang. Okay. Well. Huh. Alright, cool. This one is an older RPG that I picked up a long while ago. Actually, still gonna have to turn that down just a little bit for my own sake. I used to play this one, and I never quite got to any of the endgame stuff that I wanted to, but fill the screen with more awoos. I mean, that'd be cool. I guess I could put in more photos of myself, but I'd have to mess around with that later. Also, I should probably move where my avatar is located at. Perfect. Yeah, that'll work. But yeah, this one is a rogue light, and I don't know, it's almost the way to get to some of the end game stuff requires that you do save persistent things, stuff that goes from one save to the next. So in that sense, it is a roguelite. But this game is brutally difficult, and more often than not, you won't even make it to any of the endings whatsoever. The game will just kind of kick you in the teeth. It's a neat little short burst RPG that I figure we could do a few runs of, and then see what else everybody else voted on. I want to say that we were looking at probably FTL and Starships. Starships would be fun. Alright. Let me get in the correct screen here, and whoa, don't freeze on me. Okay. So, start a new adventure, because I don't remember what the previous adventurer was up to. Okay. So you can see that I've got some of the trophies and whatnot for the other classes. And initially when you play this game, I want to say that you start out with just the Swordmaster or just the Hero. And you can advance further out by getting unlocks through just... I don't know, I want to say it's not even the different endings, it's just like making it to a certain ranking on how well you did for discovery on certain items or how powerful your character got. I've been trying to play Bard because I'm terrible at playing Bard, and I've been using the Loyal Pet build on this one. So I've got a magical creature that's following me around, and it hasn't worked well, but it's kind of the build that I've wanted for this character specifically. We have an open accessory, starting without one. +1 charisma, meaning we can already start out by being able to hire people that we normally couldn't. Okay. Whoop. And past dimension history? No, we'll do a new random world. New items and partners. Interesting. Master of Unlocking is an RE1 reference. I mean, RE1 is definitely a lot older because that's PS1, and PS1 predates Steam, and this is a Steam library game. We'll do an afternoon stroll just to get a warm-up on the game. Advice from the beautiful fortune teller Aris in dimension RNJSJ378. Even if you meet your demise in this adventure, you should be able to carry something over to the next hero. Maybe a new class or new perk. One day soon, a true hero will rise and save this world. And that's just how to get progression in the game. Fancy. Somehow my body, which should have been defeated by Phantom Knight, is returned to me in one piece. Actually, maybe it isn't in one piece. My memories of my old body are already fading. And that's all I have to say about that. It is only a small token, but allow me to bestow a few items to help you in your journey. A few simple healing medicines and herbs. I know it will be a tough journey, but we leave the destruction of the Demon Lord up to you, Fancy. I will be leaving this castle behind as well. Oops. Now it is time to depart. I pray for your success. Okay. You can open. If you don't have lockpicking. Okay, yeah. Yep. Oh, well, that works. I'm here to check your charisma. No way! I've never met someone with charisma so high. You're positively glowing. Please, take me with you. The soldier has basic stats, but you have a great help. Recruit this character? Charisma level 3 needed. You know what? Sure. We'll have you join in. Leave it to me. Until my last breath, I will never leave your side. Soldier D joins your party. We're already on the brink of destruction. Leave the castle behind. The battle with the Demon Lord will be a drawn-out fight, but even a pinprick draws blood. Keep at it, and the Demon Lord will succumb. We'll stay here and share our fate with this castle. Please, finish the fight for us. Bards are known for their charisma. If you're able to collect party members, then defeating the Demon Lord should be easy. Recruit the boys. However, you will need to strengthen your defense so you don't fall too easily. You'll be leaving me behind as well, aren't you? There's no way I can outrun the coming darkness. So I'll at least do my part by telling you about the upcoming areas. So if you look at the map in the middle there over by the life bar, that should start lighting up with other things that she's going to point out for us. Locations revealed. Small village, big town. Well, I guess this is goodbye for me. Do your best to reach the end. Madam! Welcome to the Dimensional Vault. So the Dimensional Vault allows me to store items from previous playthroughs and send them through to the next hero. And they are necessary. It's necessary to store items if you're going to go after some of the specific endings for the game. Right now I'm not going to bother with it because it also does change the balancing on how the endings are weighted for the character, and not using the Dimensional Vault will get you the first ending, which we still haven't even got with the Bard, and that's kind of what we're chasing after right now. That is amazing! I hope your journey leads you to glory! Now if you watch on the right side, every time that I've done something or talked to somebody or moved or turned or looked at my inventory, the screen moves a little bit and it's drifting off to the left. And if you're familiar with classic side-scroller games, if you fall off the left side, bad things usually happen. You may have already figured it out, but... Alright, okay. X or enter is attack. So is it Z? Nope, C is aim. Escape is menu. Okay, so that's where I find my lockpicking and stuff. Alright. It's crucial to face down while holding C or shift. Oh, okay. Ooh, got a sword. And a bomb. Taking fire damage causes it to misfire and explode 60% of the time. Dangerous, but necessary. Okay. So we'll continue down this way. It is possible to enter bodies of water and mountains. However, if there's enemies around... Oh, well, alright. I don't think I want to enter that body of water, because I don't think that's water. Oh, a fruit tree. I could have used that if I'd gone down faster. Oh, there's an item over here. Do I have... Nothing worth throwing. Okay. Fancy's reached level 2. Max life increased. Pocky's attack power increased. Soldier's max life increased. Nice. Oh, very nice. I got a bow. I think I need arrows for it, though. Alright, it's nighttime. And there's a building here. Throw. Yeah. Use shield to block. Ooh. Yikes! Stop time for 3 turns. Your attack power is increased. It's not necessary to meditate when using force power. You're limited to 5 uses per adventure. Continuous actions are now available. Fancy leveled up again. Knight's coat. Pick that up. Weight limit exceeded. Well, let's equip that. And also heal. Wait 1, wait 1, wait 1, wait 1. Okay, how overweight are we? Not too bad. Heal. Concentrate all your energy on evasion. For 20 turns, your movement speed is increased. However, other action besides movement will cancel this effect. ST also drains as you move. Fancy leveled up again. Good. Got some money. Oh no. All right. We are not getting any of this loot. Also, this is not faring well for us. Okay. Need much better armor than we've been using. That is for certain. Ow. Big stone. Throw. What's this? Area map. Use. Alright, minimap says nothing of use. Ancient scroll fully repair the durability of equipped items and armor. However, in exchange the items will break easier, cannot be used on accessories. Let's read it anyways. Okay. Something's fighting over there. Okay. Ah, a Jade Forest member. Interesting. Okay, nothing up here. See some items. Very nice. Those levels really help. Scroll of Binding. Applies immobility effect to the currently equipped weapon. Has a chance to constrain the enemy's movement. Yes. Now my sword causes things to slow down. We have a champion harpy coming up. Okay. I do level up very quickly. I'm also not supposed to fight quite as much as I have been, but I'm playing this kind of laissez-faire because right now I'm just trying to get a hang of the in-game mechanics and get an idea of what the combat systems feel like. Additionally, the leveling system in this is meant to be used as another form of currency. You can actually trade your levels. Is that a bear? You can trade your levels to get certain blessings. But staying at high level will allow you to deal more damage, have a higher defense, have a higher dodge, and so on. Another scorched bud. Just keep eating these as we go. There's not a lot of fruit to be had in the volcano lands. Oh, that looked like a good item. The Demon Lord has appeared nearby. He's protected by 15 barriers. So you're the hero they're all babbling about. I'll finish you off now before we're able to grow in strength. If you end up dying here, it just means that was all you were made of. Let's go, hero. Without powerful equipment, you can't hope to beat the Demon Lord. For now, you must run away, Fancy. Hi! Welcome, Spirit of Air. First time chatter. Oh, Spot died! Just gonna run. Can't normally just... okay. Our time is up. Until our next encounter, remember, you can run, but you can't hide. The Demon Lord teleported away. My charisma is now at level 5. Spot died. We lost Spot. Which, that's unfortunate. Part of this build was kind of relying on Spot existing. Okay. Quality effect is... Please tell me you're not trying to attack me. You arrived at the Agdz Desert. Air cannot move. Imp throws stone. Imp kills me. Oh no! Imp unleashes big stone on you. You try to defend as you normally would, but multiple wounds have taken their toll, and your dodges are slow and sloppy. Lineage of attack zooms in on your body and connects, sending you to the ground. You aren't getting up from that one. As your consciousness starts to flee, you look down one last time at Imp, who looks down at you with intense hunger. Your journey is now at an end. Yep, that was a pretty solid run. Just keep at this pace and you'll save the world in no time. Alright, we'll settle down and get ready for advice time. Actually, I don't have any advice to give this time. In other words, Fancy had a fairly mistake-free adventure this time. From here on, it's mostly just honing your judgment and leaving the rest to luck. If you really do get stuck, you could try using the dimensional vault for an advantage, or travel to other dimensions. Alright. I think we'll give that one another try. I got a C+. Battle grade is bad. Treasure pickup. I kept, running past things that were available. Turns out I had a hunter's bow, a +2 short sword, and a knight's coat. Hero point total increased. I think I've actually maxed out everything on this one, including the size of the dimensional vault. You don't have enough. Need 110. Oh, okay. No perks left to unlock. And... yeah, everything I have in here is pretty nice. So I'm gonna hold off on borrowing anything from that, or storing anything. And we'll return a title and try again. Can't believe I lost Spot. Alright. Somehow my body, which should have been defeated by Imp, has returned to me in one piece. So it's all that again. Okay. Lock picked. Join the fight. Alright, we got Spot and Soldier D. Thank you for the information, madam. And we continue out of here. Let's see. Also, let me double check something. Okay. Oh, we got another building here. We have a building here, but I'm not going to be able to get into and out of it quickly enough because I don't own an axe. I love armor! I'm certain you do, buddy, but I can't even afford anything from you. You can save your progress. I can get eaten by the darkness. The midnight black curtain pressing against your back finally gets the best of you and swallows you whole. Almost immediately you are crushed by intense pressure and sent flying into the air. From above, you can see the darkness assailing the land. From this new vantage point, you're able to spot something amidst the endless dark fog. A dragon, larger than any mountain in the land, is coiled up within the deadly fog. So that's what's been consuming our world. As you come to this realization, something solid slams into your body and ends your musings forever. You met your demise pretty quickly this time, but don't worry, it happens to everyone. Well, not to me, but you know what I mean. Okay, yeah. Dishonor. Rank D is the lowest, apparently. Alright, let's try that again. That went terribly. If you're attacked from behind, you take additional damage. Good to know. Yep. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so we're in a spot where we're not going to be able to do anything down below. Not in time, at least. But there is a building here. Oh, that is a hell of a building. Yeah, it's a lot of not friends. Alright, this time we're going to try something a little different. We're just going to start out with usable once per day. Okay. We're going to do Awakening. We're going to do Ballad of Heroism. Okay. Whoop. Do Awakening again. Yikes. Well, I'm glad those two know how to fight. Alright, so we got some good items here. I just need to get to where it's safe to actually equip anything. We got some leather armor and a spirit robe. Designed to withstand force attacks, reduces force damage by 1/3, also has high physical defense, 30% chance to fire nullification. Traveler's clothes. Oh wow, the armor is really high on those. Very nice. Weight limit increased. Very nice. So nothing of use in that body of water. Hopefully we can find something out here. Ow. Okay, we got a little town. Oh, what? Spot, no! How? Oh, that was terrible. Just try and hurt one of the villagers. We'll make sure you regret it. Otherwise, you can consider us good friends. Please rest and relax. Alright, buddy. I'm the Great Item Appraiser. I'll identify all of your items for a measly 500 silver. No, thank you. It's too bad. See you next time. Welcome. I hope you aren't a crook like the last one. Make yourself at home. Would you like to record your progress, or do you have something else in mind? I don't need save crystals, but thank you for the offer. Good armor merchant. So those leather vests can be worth quite a bit. Compared to more robust armors, may be a bit lacking, but still has average defense stats, more than enough to fend off bats and feral dogs. So looking at the defense on that, the spirit armor, or spirit robe that I just got is way higher defense. Heavy shield. Interesting. I'm gonna hold on to that leather armor. Hey, 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 hey! I'm a renowned merchant. Scroll of Analysis. It will unveil the details of all unclassified items in your possession. That other person is charging me 500 for the same service. This person's got a scroll that does it for 400. Go figure. Even with people who seem carefree, look deep into their heart and you'll realize how sad they really are. Okay, buddy. Welcome. What can I get for you? Good crusts. That's all you want to consider on the house. Oh, well, I'm sure to start making some bread crusts then. Don't forget, we have takeout lunches as well. Not like you could afford it. Restore energy by 100% will also heal life for the hero only. We'll hold off. What are you? Do you know the Jade Forest group? They're a conservation group that hunts down poachers who kill endangered animals. It's best to avoid hunting animals that don't attack you, unless you want those tree huggers after you too. This area will continue for another 41 kilometers. The next area stretches for 91 kilometers. Make sure you're prepared. Well, I guess I'm going to buy it, or what was it? Yeah, I want to get that shield. Equip the shield. Okay. Looks like there's another building up top. And a fight going on. Fortune Teller RS meditates. Fortune Teller RS takes 8 damage. What happened? Also, I just found out there's buttons for diagonals that I could have been using this whole time. No, I'm not going to waste my dagger durability on that. Stamina is low. What heals stamina? Stamina herb. Okay. Well, didn't work. Worth trying, though. Okay. A traveler, huh? I'm a member of the Jade Forest group. My duty is to track down criminals who hunt endangered animals. Be careful not to kill any foxes, otters, horses, rabbits, or goats. Basically, anything fluffy. Okay. Chipped jewel. Use that for money later. Ow. Jerk. At least we have armor now. Mountain climbing increased. For reasons unknown to me, this adventurer is slowly getting better at mountain climbing. We'll take 6 turns instead of 9 now. Fancy reached level 7. Charisma increased again. Let's see. Let's hope that I'll use my natural healing. The Demon Lord. Lovely! Yep. Let's go, hero. Haha! I outran the Demon Lord by just pausing time. Wow, that is a really good zombie as far as combat's concerned. We've entered the wilds. Fire attacks rendered apparently that zombie had fire attacks, but my robe protected me. Very nice. Ooh, what'd we find? Another little dungeon room. Well, failure. And none of these other items are going to be able to break through. I need a much better weapon. Because you can brute force your way through walls, doors, lock chests and stuff, if you have the equipment for it. Love it when an enemy completely misses me. Very useful. Is that a puppy? It is. Little puppy. Oh, a little golden fox. I'm not attacking Almond. Alright. Ooh, fancy learned defense. What's this do? Take a defense stance for 5 turns, reducing physical damage to 1/3. Attack power will also drop to 1/3. Not many uses for a lone adventurer. But for a hero who has friends, whose dog hopefully doesn't get killed usually. Wow, the guard is doing pretty good damage here. Let's see if we got another town. Yeah, we're just gonna go to the town. Infamous Hyper Warrior. You must be the hero everyone's talking about. Please, take this. Okay. Clothing. Thank you. Your bag is overweight. Oh, looks like we got an ad coming up here, so it'll be a moment. I'm just going to be sitting here looking at items anyways. Simple dried herb. Eat this for energy. Okay. Leather shield. Wow. Rand blade. Weight 8, attack 18. A sword taller than most people. It is too heavy for most travelers, to use, so accuracy is reduced by 5%. We get arrows, we get a longsword. Just unplug my workstation, one moment. Let's see. So the clothes that we just picked up are worth quite a bit. Let's abandon the traveler's clothes and leather armor. Grab the longsword. And do arrows weigh anything? No, they don't. Having arrows is good. In fact, any arrows that they'll give me, I'll take them. Okay. Complete. You see a merchant in red clothes. He's a weapon merchant. Try to remember that. Okay. Let's see. Hearty meal. Yes, please. Grab a lunchbox. Equip the new longsword. Curious about the new clothes. Can't get them appraised though, unfortunately, because the item appraiser is about to die. Oh, scroll of binding. Alright. Read. Okay. Suddenly, a sinister force settles upon the area. You sense the presence of many demons. This could mean trouble. Proceed carefully. Okay. Hello. You've done well making it to this place. I am the goddess. I can bestow upon you great power in exchange for your experience. Exchange experience levels in order to increase your base parameters. You will lose levels, but none of your stats. Increasing the weight limit is always good. As you can see, it starts to stack up very quickly. Alright, and that's about all the levels that I can really afford to burn. So now, we're now level 0. But we'll gain the levels back quickly now. Ah, it's a skeleton captain. I don't have anything I can really use against them. I'm gonna avoid them for now. I guess not this one. Oh, crunch. Once he reached level 1. Oh, that hurt. Eat one of those. Looks like some more equipment on the ground. A knight's coat. Very nice. Another dried herb. Good for energy. Just eat that real quick. The Demon Lord has appeared nearby. Of course he has. This time you won't leave here alive. Or will I? Oh no. What a mess. My time is up. You live for now. Good job, soldier. Generating world. Oh, I wonder what that means. Alright, more charisma. Just gonna have to fight it. More wooden arrows. If only I had a bow. Alright, got some healing stuff. Very handy. Made it to Hui Wilds. Hero, can you hear me? I'm the goddess of time, Kronos. If you so wish it, I can use my power to record your progress. No. Understood. May your journey be blessed with good fortune. Horse arrows. Very useful for heavily armored targets or enemies who use a shield. There's that fox again. More wooden arrows. Bandits! Oh, leveled up a few times. Okay. That teleport pill is going to be very handy later. Concentrate all your energy for 20 turns. Movement speed is increased. Okay. Thank you. Armor dealer. A lot of these really cheap traveler's clothes. And usually that indicates that they're damaged. Gonna hold on to that knight's coat though. It's better than nothing. Treasure map unveils the location of all treasure chests in the area. Secret hidden treasure chests, you say? Yeah. Those are hard to get a hold of. What do we find here? Scroll of binding. I need to get over here. Oh, what are you? Medicine. Do you need any medicine? Go ahead. Take it. No one's looking. Why is that an option? No, I don't want to do that. Pack Rat Sailor Dude. You ever heard of the Dark Brotherhood? I hear they have all kinds of amazing items and other weird stuff. Can't get in without a license, though. Oh, a traveler. I guess I'll tell you about the upcoming towns. What just happened? Roll of Jerry Rigging X2 and a quality whetstone. Applies quality effect to a weapon, increases the stats slightly, and also makes it more durable. Tentacle Weed. Once this herb hits something, it immediately sprouts roots at their feet, stopping their movement. The roots will melt away in about 5 turns. We are finding all the things to use to irritate the hell out of the Demon Lord. I love this. This is good. Drop that for now. Whoop. Okay. So they do have stuff that I actually want here. Very good at destroying walls. Weight 8 though. Ah. Alright. Okay. Nice. We now have a bow that can freeze or stun enemies at distance. No arrows equipped as ammo. Whoop. Okay. There's the button. There. Oh, okay. Nice. You're overweight, you cannot move. I've done it. I've overweight myself. Ah. Bloody hell. Scroll of Swordplay. Can improve a weapon's quality, will apply low to medium level skill to the currently equipped weapon. Well, what if I put that on the longsword then? New power has been added to your weapon. Longsword of unknown... Okay, well... Let's see... Dang, that guard is able to hit really, really hard. Also... Oh, the things that are being dropped. I'm gonna have to do something. Yikes. Okay. Eat. Eat. Drop. Drop. If I pick up the Grand Blade, I have to drop the longsword that I just put an upgrade on. I could drop the mystery clothing that I picked up that's worth like 500. This is so frustrating. 27 out of 31. Even if I drop that, that's still not enough. I would have to drop so much more. No. Wow. No. Okay. All items in possession classified. Okay. Rooting Longsword. Grand Blade of 113. Attack of 10. Attack of 18. Attack of 14. With range +2. Scaled Shield. Oh, that explains why this shield has been so good. Okay. And a second Spirit Robe. Okay. That's why that's worth so much. That's funny. A sturdy Grand Blade, harder to break, durability attrition -40%. And a base value of 40 versus the 113. No, we've got something better already. Crazy. I got really lucky. This time you won't leave here alive. Yeah? You're really going for it, huh? Control. Oh, I see. The Demon Lord just came up and attacked this. Wow. Oh no, it's a bandit. Okay. There's nobody here to sell any of this stuff to. Oh, the save lady just got killed. What an evil bandit. Bracelet of Speed. A bracelet designed to increase the wearer's movement speed, increase in reaction velocity. The one who conquers speed conquers all. I mean, this is true in this game especially. We'll look at that in a sec. What else we got? Another quality. Okay. Sturdy rapier. Good. Let's grab all these. Weight limit exceeded. That qualifies as a 1 weight value. That's frustrating. Okay. Well, there we go. Oh. Camping Soldier. Hey, hero dude. Grab those items from the box. We're all depending on you. Okay. Thank you, bud. Appreciate the assist. Yee! No arrows equipped. Yeah, eat that. Even with the Grand Blade, I'm still only doing 7 damage per hit. Wow. Well, can't fit up there. Glad I have the grand power of this blade. Oh, I get the arrows or the bracelet, but not both. Why do those take up the same slot? Welcome, King! Doing halfway decent. How about yourself? Where are you watching from? Always kind of curious to see where folks are dropping in from. Found another healing herb? Good to hear. Huh? Michigan. Oh. That's a lot of dogs. Well, welcome here. Glad to see you. We play a lot of roguelikes around here. I'm a green Glowdog on the internet that lives up in the Gay Mountains. Make yourself at home into this mountain resort that nobody can access. Let's see here. Equip here. Equip the bracelet. Just use up all my time. Just another save person. So I get the shield or the bracelet. Interesting. What's this? Vial of stamina. We'll heal some life with the hero only. We're not quite there yet, but we're getting there. What do we got over here? Spirit robe, another one. If only I could actually use it. My hero is kind of full on spare equipment. Snow crystal glass. When be found in snowy areas, eating it restores life by 30 and energy can be sold for a high price. Ooh. And an unknown bow. I mean, we've already got a quality military grade bow. There are very few bows that are better than this one. Oh, thank you for the follower. Follow. Ugh. I am a little tired. Still in the process of moving into the new place. Want to switch over? No, don't want to drop that. Where's that other bandit that I saw? Those difficult to initially get set up with in this. But being able to do any kind of range damage is so good. Oh. Do I have anything that could actually... I don't think I can actually outrun this thing. Oh, that was bad. Ah! Okay. That was very tough. Why am I suddenly healing like crazy? What's going on here? Huh? See another blade. Expensive slender spear. Very thin spear. It isn't very durable, but it has an effective reach of 2 tiles. Needlessly expensive. Value X5. Weight 4. I don't think I have... Yeah. I don't have the means to actually pick that up. Not yet, at least. Eventually I'll have to make choices about my equipment, but we're not there yet. Bracelet of Destruction. Unlocks the wearer's hidden strengths, awarding 1.3 times attack power. Many swordsmen venture into the world with this treasure in mind. I mean, I'm already doing like 30% or 30 damage, so an additional 30% bringing it to 40. That wouldn't be bad. Something to consider. For now. For now, I continue on this way. Oh, we found something here. Hackrat Save Attendant. How am I supposed to get inside this place? Frail elven woman. The least I can do to aid your journey, allow me to recover your weary body. Life and energy fully restored. Oh, that's cool. This is a hidden village for elves to live in peace. The fate of the world does not concern us. Once your task is finished, be gone from this place. Hey there, if you have the silvers, I will trade you some village items in exchange. Heavy shield. Quality whetstone. I do like those. Stark needle. A mysterious sword forged with the force. It boasts plus 20% accuracy, 20% crit rate. It is extremely powerful for its lightweight. My money isn't close though. That rooting longsword is comparable. The Stark needle has an undefined value. I think I would be better off instead. Oh well, first of all. If I didn't have a bow. We have a spare spirit robe. The bracelet of speed is proving to not be useful because I'm... Oh, that scaled shield is getting pretty damaged. Okay. It will be useful then. Quality. Higher quality materials. Attack power. Durability attrition reduced. Enemy paralysis rate. Good. Equip. Quality. Quality minus. Okay. It's interesting that quality and quality minus are separate values here. And then we go over all this. Yeah, you told me that you didn't care about what was going to happen, but you just think the fate of the world just kind of ate you, bud. More force arrows. Very nice. Another scaled shield. Okay. Current level 7. I can trade in for more weight limit because we are going to need it. We have been needing it. Very nice. Hell yes. Okay, so we got binding on the bow. Wait. Yeah, okay. And we have it on the longsword. Now we're going to put it on this sword. A rusty longsword. Less powerful than a short sword, still better than nothing. That's funny. The Demon Lord has appeared. What do I have right now that I could use to mess with the Demon Lord? Okay. So we're not quite there yet, but I am able to do enough damage to irritate him. Uh-huh. Phantom Knight cannot move. Very handy. Rusty short sword. Interesting. Okay. Weight limit increased again. Very good. I needed that. So tired, need food. Long, long hair, long hair, long, long hair. Good, yes, very good. Yes, I am Goku. Oh, there was a thing over there and I didn't even know. Well, we're getting experience anyways. If I don't eat soon, I'm going to start grazing on grass. I've never seen the top of the map just disappear like that. No energy left. That's fine. Still dealing plenty of damage. This bow is crazy good. Oh, this is a dungeon? It is. How are we right now on arrows? 49 of them. Okay. Control plus weight. Well, that didn't mean anything. Ow. Okay. Let's see here. Eat this. Don't want that. Another knight's coat. . Why is that one green? Right, well, we'll put the leather armor away. Whoa. Almost didn't make it out of there in time. What's this? Can't get in here without a Dark Brotherhood license. Them's the rules. I shouldn't have done that. That was a bad idea on my part. Okay, let's see. Oops. Oh, that person hits hard. No, that's it. I shouldn't have attacked them. Defeated by Dark Brotherhood Gatekeeper. Dark... My beloved spirit robe can't defend against that. This world's screwed up. Screw this world. I'm going to another... Oh, this is the thing I choose. Okay. Alright. That was a good little run. The various villagers are actually pretty strong, so carelessly attacking them can lead to a world of hurt. Although if you do inadvertently kill one, they forget about the crime after about 3 days. If you make this mistake, the best choice is to go on the run until things blow over. Raise agility to make it easier to escape from enemies. Maybe I will do a different build besides a charisma run. Bracelet of speed, rusty longsword, clothes was traveler's clothes. Okay. Overall record. Type C, special for the Bard class. Use hero points. Expand the dimensional vaults. Nice. What would I like to drop in there? So I had some good stuff. That +2 longsword was really nice, and I don't need arrows to use it. We'll do that. Okay. Let's see where we're sitting at for now. Okay, about an hour and a half. I'm going to go ahead and take a short break here, and we'll run some music. I'm going to take a walk around the house and stretch my legs, and we'll come back and see what we're going to play next. See you folks shortly. Okay.
Our ancestors crossed the great void untold millennia ago. Pilgrims from a dying world long since lost.
Let's see.
From tumultuous
Get some things
beginnings,
adjusted here.
their struggle, courage, and fortitude gave birth to our civilization. For many centuries, our people prospered. Peace ruled our planet, and our understanding of the world around us grew. Our scientists have long speculated that ours was not the only tribe to make this journey and establish a new home on another world. But their searching has been met again and again with silence. Until now. The transmission was weak and incomplete, but in a language not unlike our own. Our anticipation grew. What culture and knowledge had our brothers developed during the long centuries of our separation? A starship was prepared, ambassadors recruited, but gradually, the meaning of the message became clear. It was a desperate call for help. Galvanized by the revelation that we are not alone, our fleet has been equipped, and we are ready to answer the call of our brethren. What shall we find as we set our course beyond the stars?
Oh, alright. I guess we don't get to see the rest of that. So this is a fun little board game I picked up a while back. It's basically, well, make sure we got audio. I'm not hearing my own feedback. One sec. Okay, I can see it. Cool. Fun little board game I picked up a while back. It's basically a turn-based single-player 4X game. Obviously heavily inspired by other 4X games of the era, and plays as a more bite-sized idea on the concept of something like Endless Space, for those that are familiar. Or even in the case of any other Sid Meier game, Sid Meier's games tend to run forever. They take weeks, if not months, to finish a campaign in some cases. This is a game where you can, if you want to, play through the entirety of a campaign in the matter of like about 6 to 14 hours, I would say. So by no means is it like a faster paced game by modern standards, but as far as a Sid Meier's game goes, it is. We'll just start off a new one here because I've been dinking around in this for a minute. And is there a random button for me? Can I hit a random button? I guess not. Alright, well. That didn't help. We'll do this person. Starts with 2 random tech upgrades. Okay, sounds good. Hyper launch. Nice. So, much like other Civ games or 4X games in general, you've got your usual means of conquering the universe. Can be through expansion or through destruction, or in some cases through technology. I don't think this one actually has a tech ending per se. I think it's mainly the expansion and destruction side of things. Let's take a look at our ships. We've got an assault corvette and a corvette. One with one type of gun and one with another. Let's see here. It looks like one with burst lasers and one with plasma cannons. Both have missile launchers. None have fighters. Well, we have 1,000 credits and the ability to add one more ship if we wanted. Yeah, let's add another ship. What do we get? Another corvette. This one's red this time. Lasers as well, and same loadout as the others. Okay, cool. Extra ship has been added. What does this say? No inhabitable planets in this quadrant. Acquire 1 battle card. Alliance battle fleet is in range. Planetary defense facility. It gains 3 megabots. Alliance homeworld. 5 billion citizens. Hold on. How many ship... Can I even move this? I don't think I can. Oh, I can. Cool. You know, It's tempting. It is tempting that I could just like jump right into this and attack them, but I'm not going to do that. We're going to go elsewhere. So let's do this collect them all mission.
Approaching Lindsys 50.
Receiving transmission from Lindsys 55. We've lost contact with 3 science outposts orbiting our planet. There are indications that a squadron of stealth fighters may be approaching. Can you control all the science outposts to reestablish communications? Can ask them for more assistance, but I don't really need this. We'll say yes, the fleet is currently ready for action.
Yes.
Control 3 of 3 science outpost locations. 0. Note, increased sensor and weapon range. Okay. Oh, increased weapon range is good. Alright, and looks like we are fighting... Oh, actual stealth fighters. Fun! And they are shooting missiles at us. Okay. Let me change some stuff here real quick. Is there any... No, there isn't. Okay. Now, what did that just do to my stream? I have a feeling that probably... Yep, okay. One sec. Put that over here. I'm not sure why this is behaving this way, but you know what? I'll accept it. Because I do need to be able to see chat. Okay. Right-click inside the white movement border to move your starships. Thank you for the reminder. I do appreciate it because I don't remember what I'm doing. So we're going to head over here.
Is under our control.
Good. We got ship over there and ship over there. And planet in between us. And meteors in between us. So we're just going to go over here. And turn. You... Line of fire blocked. 12 damage. They only have 15. 13 damage. Well, maybe we'll get a crit. Nope. But it was worth the damage. Okay. Next shot isn't going to help on that, so we're just going to continue on this way. Line of fire very blocked. Line of fire very blocked. And we'll fire our own missile.
Incoming torpedo.
Is it though? Where's it coming into? Fun little tactical board game. Oh no, we are under attack. Also, I think that's actually a real hit.
We've sustained major damage. Nice shot.
What now? Okay, cool. Still can't do anything. No line of sight.
Nice shot. Entering narrow passage. Enemy reinforcements detected.
Okay. Next. Oh right, cannons are really good for anti-armor.
Science outpost. Enemy reinforcements detected. Science outpost is under our control.
Alright. Foxfire. Crew skills upgraded to regular. Plus 10% to skill.
Trade
Cool.
established with Lindsys 55.
The enemy threat has been neutralized. Please accept this gift of 300 credits as a token of our gratitude. Yours is the first fleet to come to our aid. +1 influence. Okay. We're happy to offer our assistance. So now you'll note that this planet has 2 little blue ring pieces going around it. If we can get all 4 going, then we will have added this planet to our empire. Let's see here. 1 free technology if I go up there. That's also very worth it. Let's see. Our ships. I thought I received credits. Did I not? Oh, okay. Those kinds of credits. I see. So it's energy that goes into ships. Good to know. Okay. And if I decide to get upgrades, actually cancel changes, yes. Wait, did that, oh, that that's wild that I canceled that too. Okay. So let's add fighters to one of these ships. It'll make it a little bit slower, but now we can avoid some combat damage being done to it. And while we're at it, research. Fighters have 1 random module.
Intelligence level
Good.
1. Approaching Scorpii 20.
Our sun's about to flare, and marauders have timed their raid with this disaster. If the flare doesn't destroy us, we still have to face the marauders. Will you help our station evacuate?
Yes, Commander.
Escort the colony ship to the warp portal. Reduce sensor and weapon range. Gravity well. Enemy starship speed reduced. We'll do this instead.
Fighters online.
Oh snap, these have really good attack distance. Very nice. And we can just safely move the colony ship. Very nice.
Enemy reinforcements detected.
It's going really well. I normally don't have this easy of a time right at the beginning. It helps that they keep just throwing their ships directly on mine.
Enemy reinforcements detected.
Getting those free shots in also helps level up the crew on that ship, so they'll be better in combat later. One of the things I really like about the way that the crew works for each of these ships is as you upgrade them, it's kind of like a ship of Theseus, they just get bigger. So it's the same ships that you start with in most cases. Depleted isotopes have been delivered. We'll gladly upgrade the cannon weapons systems of your ships.
Receiving all resources from Scorpii 23.
Huh. I didn't know that, but we'll take it. Alright. We're happy to offer our assistance. And we'll take additional... Oh, they upgraded the cannons on the ships themselves. Interesting.
Completed artificial intelligence level 2.
Our crew is becoming fatigued. That's to be expected. Workbots. What does workbots mean? Who produce planetary improvements efficiently. Okay. Okay.
Biofuel plant operational. Crypto lab operational. Auto plant complete.
What do we got here? Extra food? Or we could get into a fight with these folks. That would be funny, but I don't think I would actually win.
Approaching Carinae 80.
We've lost contact with our science outpost in deep space. A renegade fleet's been detected in the vicinity. We need to control the station for 3 turns before the enemy can do the same, so it can be reset. Alright. Ah. Well... Dane. Really? Jeez. I wonder if there's a way for me to turn up the overall game speed. Because this is slow. 42 out of 50. 0 to there. Hit this one first.
Science outpost has been lost.
Not enough. Okay.
Nice shot. Fighters launched.
Science outpost is under our control.
That was looking kind of sketchy from the beginning with them just getting the initial placement that quickly.
Enemy reinforcements detected.
Oh, okay.
Receiving all resources from
The enemy threat has been neutralized. Alright. Cool. Crews become fatigued. Politicos. Quickly shift the allegiance to their planet. Good to know. Would do a homeworld battle. Would be a very bad idea. Quick time.
Come, Mr. Hubbard. The Commonwealth welcomes you. On.
I'm going to skip through most of the diplomacy stuff because we can no longer share all of our resources. Yes, yes, yes. This is mostly going to be the way that you would expect from any other given Civ game. A lot of finger wagging and whatnot. Okay. We want fast ships. Allows us to give fighters full initial movement. That's what that is. Okay. Let's go for it. Second map.
I'm listening.
The die has been cast. The United Federation has intruded our territory for the last time. State of war now exists between our civilizations.
Approaching Norme 54.
Yes, Commander.
Let's do this. SS Beowulf, 145 out of 145. Okay. 70, 75.
Fighters online. Nice shot. Entering jump gate.
Fighters launched.
Enemy engines disabled.
Fighters launched.
Entering jump gate. Entering narrow passage.
It's not going to be enough, but it'll deal some damage at least.
Sensors disabled.
Good.
Entering jump gate.
Cannons have been damaged.
Those hit hard. I messed up. I extra messed up. They're not even going for the fighters, they're just going right after my carriers.
Engines are
Yikes.
Battle card activated. Enemy cannons disabled. Entering jet gate. Enemy reinforcements detected.
Oh no. Think we might be toast on this one. Bad start. I didn't have to go as hard as I did on that initial turn, but I did. And we're paying for it. Yep. That is a near board wipe. Especially considering all I have left are fighters, and fighters don't remain after the end of a fight. That's it. Without carriers, they are useless.
Nice shot. Torpedo sighted.
Ah, the death screams in this. They're so intense.
Shields are critical.
Enemy lasers disabled.
Torpedo incoming.
And then they smash. Five health. It doesn't matter if I hit him.
Enemy lasers disabled.
That's it.
We'll get them next time.
Our forces remain on full alert. So what's left? All three ships at 0 health. Yeah, I think we're going to exit the game there. Yep. That one didn't go well. A valiant effort was made. Okay. Now, I see all you there in the community voting for this one. So, we'll do a few runs. Alright, so we're still working on some of these other specialties. I have 11 systems installed in the Kestrel at one time. It starts with 8, so that means I only need to build 3 more systems. So, drone control, cloaking, mind control, or something like that. That would fill out the complete 2 for Layout B. I think that's what we're going to work on today. Okay. You detect an automated rebel scout attacking a small refueling outpost. Let's intervene. Detecting a higher threat, the automated ship moves in to engage. Okay. Knock out there. Oh, they got one of those drone controls. I hate those things. At least it's the level 1 version that doesn't, like, hurt the other crew. Because that one that was, like, shocking them through was terrifying. Ugh. Okay. Okay. Let's open up all... we can't open the doors. We are kind of SOL on oxygen. Oh, that's fun. What a fun little problem to have. Awful. Okay. Also, how you doing, Busta? Good to see you, by the way. Nearby planets show signs of habitation and great beauty. A rudimentary automated planetary defense system is looping its message into space. Warning! Quarantine level 5 is in effect under FHA Act 22, Article 11.2. Warning! Quarantine... Well, I guess we're not stopping there today. Scanners indicate a battle is taking place nearby. It seems that someone is under attack by space pirates. Let's help them. You power up your weapons and engage. They have a laser drone. Just got home from weekly food shopping and catching up in Discord. That's valid. Hope you got some good food. They have missiles. Missiles that knock out my sensors. Fun! Pirate ship breaks apart. You hasten to contact the civilian ship. It seems the crew did not survive. You take what you can. Right? You stumble across a forward scout of the rebel fleet. Powering up their FTL. If they get away, they'll no doubt warn the fleet of your position. Ugh. Alright. Jeez. Okay. That at least takes out part of the issue. Alright. You're relieved to know you're still one step ahead of the fleet. Good. Because the fleet sucks. Oh, wow, that room is just vacuuming out. Okay. Think we'll hold off on buying anything just yet. 2, 3. Okay. That's a hell of a set of jumps. Try here first. Might find something. Another storage cache. Let's do this. Okay, engines are slightly damaged, but we're doing alright. You salvage what you can from the broken ship. Station is a storage site for various resources. Nice. We have so much fuel. An unidentified ship is badly damaged and still being assaulted by a space pirate. The victim begins a distress message until the pirate cuts in and offers to split the bounty if you sit tight. Screw you! The pirate ship stops its pursuit and locks weapons onto your ship. Let's see, they have a hull breach missile. That's gonna have to go. Fine, our previous offer was not generous enough. Let's improve it. Accept the generous bribe and leave. Reject the offer and continue your assault. Defense drone Mark 1. Wouldn't be the worst thing to have. It's a lot of scrap and a lot of missiles. That is a very generous bribe. Let's do it. Also, let's repair things. Sorry, random civilian craft, but we just made payday. Hopefully the pirates don't. They'll be less likely to tear you apart. Okay. And while this is happening, our crew is just slowly getting better and better at doing repairs and whatnot. Let's look. Cargo. Still don't have the system actually installed for drones, so... Space station here has a traveling merchant who shows you his wares. Drone control. Basic combat drones. Engi. Ion blaster. Acquired power 1. Could use that instead of the Artemis. Oh, we got both. Very nice. Okay. Well, we don't have remotely the kind of power necessary to actually load everything out here, but, hell of a start. Hell of a start. You find a Rebel automated scout floating near the beacon. Despite its pristine condition, it appears to be deactivated. Download the ship's data stores? Don't risk activating, just strip for any useful scrap. Strip it. We strippin'. A distress signal. You find a number of ships fleeing from a small space station. You hail them asking what's wrong. Help! We're being overrun by some sort of giant alien spiders! Send the crew to help. Giant alien spiders are no joke. Or leave them alone. Alright, audience. I leave this decision up to you. I'm actually going to make this one into a vote because this has different opportunities as to what it can lead to. Manage poll. New poll. Why is it not letting me type further than that? Okay. What a silly way for this to work. Dismiss that. Rogue girl. Love it. Oh, I should also change my tags on here and change the title on this. Okay. Okay, update that. And nobody has voted. Alright, I'm just going to go ahead and make the choice here. And since we keep making really bad choices, your crew boards the station, cautiously moving between corridors. Suddenly, a man-sized arachnid bursts from a vent in the ceiling, followed by countless more. You fight your way back to the airlock and are forced to leave before accounting for all crew members. Not everybody made it back. Scoops! Our engineer got eaten! Well, time to go. You find the source of the distress call, a small research station. It appears a small laboratory fire got out of control, threatening to destroy the station. Their fire suppression system is not responding. Dock and try to rescue the survivors. Oh. You locate the highest concentration of life forms and bring the ship alongside the station. Before you can begin to offload the survivors, a huge blast splits the station apart. Your ship is thrown away and some debris pierces your hull. You watch helplessly as the last of the survivors are consumed in the collapse of the station. Well, an attempt was made. I'm so glad we got drone control, because this is going to get real hard with only 2 crew members. You arrived at the long-range beacon. Debris from a forgotten battle still orbits the gas giant in the system. Some of it might be useful. Okay, drone control starts with 2 power. And, yeah. Eek. Okay, good to know. Next sector. Let's go to the Engi. You arrived in Engi space. The fall of the Federation has brought tough times to these robotic life forms, but they're usually willing to help. There must have been rich pickings for pirates around here up until the war broke out. The pirate you encounter here looks worn down but hungry. You'll have to fight. Okay. Looks like they got lasers and lasers. So we're going to do... Whoa. Interesting. I have ideas, and they're all bad. What? What? You clearly bested us. We merely request our lives. We will not accept surrender. Go figure. The ship explodes, leaving behind a substantial collection of useful scrap material. Open all the doors, get people in here. What a mess. Oh, and apparently the engines are damaged too. I hadn't realized that. Yikes. So early and so much damage already. The ship's already down to half health. Alright, Captain. Hope you got what it takes. A ship refueling station. If only I could sell them fuel. After a short time, you receive a message. Hello. I hope it's not a bother, but I'm looking for an escort to a nearby system. This region is quite dangerous for us, and our ship is not well armed. This is a rock vessel. Great. Well, they're way out there. Alright. You make contact with an isolated Angie science station who are staying put despite the likelihood of Manta's invasion. They suggest you trial some experimental technology. Ooh. More power. More power for everything. You arrive at a Zoltan research facility. They say they're researching genetic distortion due to stasis sleep and prolonged FTL travel. They ask if your crew has time to undergo a few scans. Your crew calmly lines up for the Zoltans to take their readings. After a short time, the process is done. They contact you. Thank you for your participation in your study. Please accept these small cakes made from stiff dough as well as some scrap. Okay. Oh no. This beacon's been placed too close to a supergiant Class M star. The ship will gradually overheat until you get out of here or die. A pirate, apparently oblivious to the danger of the sun, moves in to engage. And it's a mantis. I hate this. Let it be known that I hate this. Let's see. We'll put a combat drone out there. Well, at least it's a Zoltan crew member. Yeah, let's just keep hitting everything. Okay. You've made your point and we are beaten. Take these and leave us to our shame. No. The ship explodes, leaving behind a substantial collection of useful scrap material. And we now have a fire in the ship. Mara, please. Magni, please get us out of here. A store. An Angie ship hails. Engine upgrade necessary for travel home. Sale of equipment necessary for engine upgrade. A Vulcan? This laser weapon takes a long time to warm up. Each time it fires, it decreases the cooldown, eventually able to take down any number of shields. Chain charge cap, 1.1 seconds. Chain power, faster charge. Chain lasers. That's an interesting weapon. Let's sell the defense drone. We'll buy the automated reloader. We'll do some repairs on the ship, because that's apparently necessary. We will remember to close the doors on the ship. And I hope that people don't run out of air. Yeah. The ship. Oh, free repairs. And another store. And more crew. Would have been cool. Oh well. Alright. Thank you for the opportunity. Another study, you say? Oh. Apparently it was really another study. Amazing that. You jumped into the aftermath of what seems to have been a brutal exchange between several ships. Wreckage drifts by your screens, and you can still see the remains of dying ships sparking and breaking apart. It's hard to determine who the combatants were without closer investigation. Investigate. You scan the battlefield and find little remains. Disappointed, you prepare to jump. Okay. You pick up an automated message from a nearby space station. There appears to be a local shipwright that can perform emergency work on military ships. They offer to upgrade your piloting subsystems in exchange for some scrap. Yes. Upgraded piloting by 1. Oh, the autopilot just got an upgrade. Quite a bit cheaper than normal, too. Nice. You arrive in Zoltan space. From what you've heard, they've anticipated the coming war and made preparations to hold their borders. You cross paths with an advanced scout of the rebel fleet, searching for this section of the nebula for your ship. Well, that's unfortunate. Oh, jeez. Okay. The ship explodes, leaving behind a substantial collection of useful material. Captain, are you okay? Are you going to be okay? It was awful. It appears the distress beacon is coming from the surface of a nearby moon. Your sensors are picking up a single life form. You find a man living alone in a cave. From the appearance of his wrecked ship, it appears he's been here for many years. He looks healthy, but his mental state is questionable. He seems to improve immensely upon getting back to the ship, It might take a while for him to truly be well again, but until then he seems happy to serve as a member of the crew. Charlie. A Zoltan with inherent shield specialty. Very nice. Good for you. Alright. We have another store. Not much use yet. It's worrying that the rebels have penetrated so deep into uncharted space. Even if it is only an unmanned craft, it arms its weapons. You should do the same. Mind control. It's using mind control. Alright. Go work on all these things again. Alright. Augment battery charger. Ship explodes, leaving behind a substantial collection of useful scrap. I never get augments. That's really cool. Battery's backup time is half. Not much use, but hey. Alright, now we can arm lasers and missiles in the same volley. Further into the nebula. Your crew are constantly looking out the windows, checking for hostiles. They jump at every creak and moan of the ship. The tension is almost palpable. Palp it. Palp that tension. A rebel ship is guarding this beacon. You order pursuit course and prepare to scratch up one more. Okay. Knock out those. Knock out that. And just aim for their piloting in general. Oh, okay. Yikes! I think we just managed to successfully knock out the combat drone that was attacking us. But dang, that stung. Alright, you win. Here's some equipment from our stores. Leave us alone. We will not accept surrender. You are the rebels. Okay, Mara, back over there. Charlie, go get some healing. Substantial collection of goodies. So many goodies. We actually really need to put in 50 more into shields. Jump again. You arrive at an asteroid field and are greeted by a Zoltan guard. By attempting to access these closed mining fields, you are in violation of the Natural Mineral Protection Act. Your weaponry will be confiscated for processing. You don't have time for this. Go for these, I suppose. Okay. Okay. We have a fire again. Let's go work on the engines. Okay. Well, we got what we needed from that, which was scrap, and I'm glad that we've got shields. Yeah, that went a little better than I could have expected it, so let's drop by the store. The Mantis crew here is hunkered down in the abdomen of a long-dead space whale, the only way, presumably, for them to operate their black market trade without detection. Combat Mark II drone, required power 4. Jeez. Hire more humans. Sell that battery charger. Psst. I don't want to buy more crew. This one's good at weapons, though. Yeah, you started out on engines, so you're going to stay back there. Kuzi is our new weapon specialist. Whoa. Get away from there. Intruders on board. There are few more zealous at their customs checks than the Zoltan. There are few more zealous in their customs checks than the Zoltan. A team of border police beam on board. There's just a little confusion over your weapons licenses, but things escalate rapidly from a heated discussion to gunfire. Wait, really? Alright, yeah. Start knocking those out, I guess. Not enough power. Temporarily, we're gonna have to do this. Burst laser, yeah, also in weapons. Concerning number of weapons. Okay. Everybody's sent back over this way. They go attack all of our weapons. So fun. So fun. So very, very fun. Wait, what? Huh? Since when are crew explosive? What just happened? Huh? System broken. Weapon system down. Okay, well, throw a missile at them, I guess. Yeah, I had no idea that Zoltan explode. Yo. Oh, that was real rough. Thank you for the info sub element. I had no idea. We're just gonna go through and run this ghost ship to the ground, I suppose. Get everything repaired, one bit at a time. Traveling vessel. You will submit to the crew profiling to identify fugitives of the Empire. Sure. The Zoltan security staff aboard your ship and scan the crew's faces into a computer. After a few tense moments of uncertainty, they allow your ship to pass. That's really interesting, considering what just happened. Like many areas in Zoltan space, the residents of the sector prepared well for galactic war. The military here seems to have given up on reasoning with foreigners, preferring instead to attack on sight. Intruders detected on board. I don't know what else to do. We're just gonna have to go for this and hope for the best. Yeah, I'm the only one left. Okay. Start aiming for elsewhere on the ship, i.e. shields. Throw that over there. We've got a few missiles, but not enough to really keep burning like this. Okay. Go ship, go ship, go ship. Your senses have picked up a refugee ship drifting through the system, no doubt one of the many fleeing the rebel advance. It doesn't appear to have detected you, or else it's trying to avoid notice. Hail them. The vessel is relieved to hear from you. They're running low on supplies. They suggest a trade. Yeah, we could use some missiles. You arrived at the long-range beacon. Oh no. Okay. Yes, let's bribe the rebels with all the money we've got left. Like most rebels, these are just men trying to get by in a rough galaxy. They take your scrap and let everyone continue their journeys. Contact the civilians. None of them seem to be eager to be mistaken as Federation loyalists, so they quickly jump away. Alright. Into Slug Nebula with one crew member. I was looking forward to a pretty straightforward, well-balanced run, and then lost all of my crew. And the only thing that can render a nebula more dangerous if it's also home to the slugs. This particular nebula is just that. The rebel fleet was prepared for the nebula in this sector, so it won't be as effective of a hiding spot. Normally, when traveling to the nebula, you get reduced chase rates, but in already known nebula zones, the rebels are usually ready for it. There are a number of small stations for travelers in the area lit up by guiding lights and advertisements. Only slug ships are docked here, so you decide it's better to avoid a confrontation and steer clear. The only open space. The beacon at first glance seems to be a junkyard. Upon closer inspection, it reveals itself to be a ramshackle market. One trader has a deal that catches your eye. Yeah, we'll trade some of those missiles back, get even more fuel. You come across a large trade station. However, as soon as you approach, a warning goes out to all ships in the region. Do not associate with the Federation sympathizer. All who oppose the rebels will be punished. Your search for a friendly marketplace yields no results, but after time a small shuttle approaches. They release some supplies in your direction with a message. We're not all friends of the rebel fleet. Stay strong. Okay. Just gotta keep going. You're immediately hailed by a dangerous-looking ship guarding the station. I'm feeling generous today. I will allow you to choose your own death. Which would you like least? Shields, oxygen, or weapons? Shields, oxygen. A being that would choose suffocation. Who am I to judge? Hey, don't kink shame. Your life support is sabotage, and they move into attack. Oh, life support Whoa. Okay. There's nothing I can do to repair that. Fun. Whoop. A cutie has gone live. Guess who else doesn't have oxygen now? It's those folks. O2 low. Oh, Captain. Captain, please make it through this. Go to medbay. Slug ship breaks apart and your systems return to normal. You collect what you can. Yes. You're surprised to find a ship without slug marking stranded all the way out here and moving to provide assistance. When you see the pirate insignia on the hull, you quickly reconsider. Pirate bomber, Zoltan shields, drone control, attack. Yeah. And yeah. Finally have enough power for all the different systems. Amazing. And drone control goes out the window. Cool. Well, let's fix that. Go live. I'm amazed that I've made it as far as I have here with just the one crew member. This is getting a little silly. We're quickly running out of drones and stuff though, so we're not going to be able to do much to continue down this path the way that it has at least. It's not unusual to feel paranoia in a slug-controlled nebula, but for once, it is unfounded. The slugs here use a tactic you'd hoped you'd never see. They use a remote hacking satellite to sabotage your oxygen production system and then charge fire weapons. You're going to suffocate. Try to squeeze some extra power to the system. Thankfully, your improved subsystem is able to counter their hacking enough to keep life support barely functional. That should keep you alive, at least. Yep, fire weapons. This is actually where I learned how to use the fire weapon combo, was from fighting the slugs themselves. You'll note that I've also got my ion weapon array set up in a very similar manner. Although they are tearing through my... Oh, no. Captain.
Captain, I don't know what to tell you, but we're gonna vent so much oxygen. Okay. Close all doors. Open all doors. Wait for oxygen to return to normal. Send the captain to do repair. This is bad. Let's see. 100 for the next level of shields. Could improve my dodge. Or I could hope that I'm going to get one more crew member. Or two, or more, but we are so far behind. Alright, drones are back up. Let us continue. There are few more vicious beasts in the galaxy than a slug with his back to the wall. The faltering ship armed with fire weapons uses remote... Oh, they're gonna burn you out. Yay! We have one missile. We're gonna make it count. Okay. Okay. Uh-huh. There is a store there. Let's go to the store. Maybe we'll get lucky. You cautiously approach a slug colony on a huge asteroid. It's a brave person who sets foot on a slug planet. It can take weeks to get the mucus out of your clothes, but there is business to be done. We did it. Actually... This nebula looks like it's recently seen two ships exchange fire with mutually assured destructive results. Wreckage drifts by your screens and tumbles into the depths of the nebula to be lost to sight. It's hard to determine who the combatants were without closer investigation. Ask your slug crew to scan for survivors. Despite the destruction filling the system, your crewman is able to pick up the faint thoughts of a life form in the debris. It looks like they won't last much longer without help. Assist them. You bring the survivor aboard, but discover their wounds are severe. They won't live much longer. Make them comfortable. On their deathbed, they croak out a series of coordinates and beg you to go there. When you attempt to ask them why, the survivor simply says, Abatis, then perishes. Added a quest marker to the next sector. I've never seen this quest pop up before. Maybe the Engi can help us. We've arrived in Engi space. Distress and quest. A ship without life forms is within a nearby dense asteroid field is giving off a distress call. Shall we investigate? It could be dangerous. You find the decaying remains of some kind of ship coated with ice or crystal. There's such a low chance of encountering both these things, but that is twice in this run that I've seen the sleep study. And now the ice crystal thing. If I had been... that's like 4 out of the 5 things that have to happen. You find the decaying remains of some kind of ship coated with ice or crystal. You send some crew aboard to explore. Nearly everything is destroyed or unidentifiable, but one of the weapons appears salvageable, and there's a strange stasis pod that catches your eye. I don't have a rock crew member to do the stasis pod side of it. It looks like a massive asteroid is in direct collision course with the derelict ship. You'll have to pull your crew up, but they want to grab what they can first. What did they take? The weapon. Your crew grabs what they can and returns to the ship before the asteroid hits. You take a look at what you've recovered once you move clear of the asteroid field. The Youngie can do remarkable things with just a pile of scrap. The Youngie Hive at this beacon are selling equipment for just that. Interesting. They do no damage to the ship itself, but deal damage instead to the crew. And still have a chance to miss. I don't want that. Get that out of here. I mean, if we're just trying to scrabble through and get this, yeah, let's do the 3 systems thing. Like, I'm not going to get use out of this. I reject their offer. I'm certain I will. Who's good at repairs? Intangible. Bet you didn't think so. I command you to. Panoramic view. Look, I'll make you all manageable. Never mind. Oops. Single volley destruction. Oh. Well. I didn't mean to hit quit, but, I guess that works. Let's see. We are sitting basically right on the 3-hour mark, so I think I'll just call that. Let me switch over to a thing here. And the thing over here. Okay. What a weird night. Strange runs, strange loot, strange adventures, storylines I've never actually seen pop up before, and some of those things too. Even with the OneWayHeroics, I kind of wasn't expecting that. That was pretty fun. Let's see here. Let's see who else is streaming right now, and who we want to go ahead and send a raid to. What was that? And no, none of those folks. Ah, yes. This one. Alright. I'm going to send you over to a person that I like quite a bit, and I enjoy watching their streams. Okay. Thank you, everybody, for watching. It was an absolute blast having you hanging out with me. I hope to see you again soon. I normally stream. We do need a message. Let's do the green Glowdog raid. But yeah, I usually stream 9 p.m. to midnight Mountain Standard Time on American shores, but you'll also commonly see me late nights in karaoke on VR chat, so feel free to keep an eye out, and I will hope to see you folks tomorrow. Let's go ahead and set up this raid message. I need to get my emotes set up so that these aren't necessarily like high tier ones. Actually, okay. So let's do this one. And yeah, I will see you folks tomorrow. This was an absolute blast. Have a good night. Bye, 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 bye.